Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the College of Staten Island. I'm Danny Chanod from Nobody Cares Sports Network, and Studio 64 is on the road tonight. We are broadcasting to you live from the beautiful and picturesque southern shores of New York City, the one and only town without pity. Staten Island, stand up and represent. Local sports is back on the rise tonight as we have the 66th annual Classic event between the visiting Curtis Warriors and the hosting St. Peter's Eagles. Now, Danny Chanod, like I said, I'll be providing play-by-play in the booth tonight, and joining me for color commentary, first time in a long time, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back my good friend, Coach Doug Elwell. Doug, how are you, brother?
Danny, I'm so pumped to be here right now. This is the start of high school basketball in Staten Island and New York City, so it's always a good time of the year, and really excited to watch these two historic programs play each other tonight.
Historic, and this is our broadcast booth. It's powered by our friends at Main Street Coffee, and right now, Doug, we've got a pregame show brought to you by Megan Thompson and By the Batch Cookies, coming on as a proud sponsor tonight of the Thanksgiving Eve Classic, and we're thrilled to have her on board. It's a great pregame show, Dougie, and I'm excited to hear what you can tell me about these two teams because, as you know, I know very little.
So, obviously, while we're walking around, Dan, we see so many legends in this gym, and it's because these two teams, these two programs set the bar on Staten Island for high school basketball. You know, any time of the year, you could pick out a team that's won a championship, and it's one of these two teams most likely. There's very few teams that have been able to take these two programs down over the years. I was lucky to be one of them, but there's not many. So St. Peter's and Curtis kind of give us the bar of how Staten Island basketball is and always will be. So tonight, it's funny because on St. Peter's side, we have a lot of recognizable household basketball names.
Sure do.
From programs that I've grown up watching, that dad's refed me, dad's coached me. So very interesting to see that. Couple of things that I spoke to Coach McKay. Also, shout out Coach McKay and his amazing wife, Amanda, who just had a baby last night. So Coach is pulling double time today as Amanda's in the hospital right now with the baby. And God bless them and happy for that. Everything was going well for them. But shout out them for their new addition last night. Coach McKay had a couple of great things to say about his team. They want to play fast. They want to play perfect Curtis basketball. Run, trap, press, get up and down the court. They're looking to some veteran leadership from the bench. They have a few sophomores that are coming off the bench this year that have played JV last year. They're really excited about that. I also talked to Coach Matt Genovese, who, again, another player that was previously playing in these games, so he knows how this goes. He knows the routine from the beginning and knows the excitement around it. Couple of things that he was saying about his team. He wants them really to focus tonight on rebounding offensively and defensively, and also their offensive flow. We know St. Peter's loves to run offensive sets. We know that they want to get into their stuff and run it well. So he's going to be very interested to see how they do that tonight against the tough Curtis Warrior defense.
Doug, you're not the best in the business for nothing. Welcome to the JV game, ladies and gentlemen, as we await our nation's national anthem. The flag is to the left for the bookie with the camera. We'll be back in just a moment. right, Bookie, send that camera left side. Show us the Curtis Warriors.
Number 2, Curtis Chu. Number 4, Makai Washington. Number 11, Jameer Williams. And number 13, Joshua Carter. And now the starting lineup for your St. Peter's Eagles.
Now he's getting it.
Number 1, number 22, Danny Mills. Number 1, Nico Parlati. Number 2, Dennis Corfin. Number 11, Adam Chenapale. And number 34, Salvatore Fragioli.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups are set here on the 66th annual St. Peter's Curtis Warriors Classic here on Thanksgiving Eve. It's the first time we've ever done the JV game, Doug, as we bring it around here to the booth. Farrell's all-time leading scorer, Doug Elwell, joining us in the broadcast booth. Assistant coach at Poly Prep over there in Brooklyn, an esteemed institute here in New York City, providing basketball IQ tonight. Doug, you joined us last year for your first ever Thanksgiving Eve, and it was your first introduction. How excited are you to be back?
Very excited, very excited. I mean, again, like I said before, right before the national anthem, you know, the legends of Staten Island have played in this game. Anyone that you've seen over the years or heard of over the years in the basketball community most likely was a St. Peter's or a Curtis guy. So you've heard the names, Timmy Highland, you've heard the name Wiz, you've heard the name Stephen Mitchell, you've heard the names Red Tripp, Nigel Wyatt. Those are the guys that have played in this game. So these guys hopefully, especially in the JV level, are hoping that those are the names that we're going to hear later on in 15, 20 years.
All right, the teams are out at the court, and we are set. The Eagles control it here on the first of a doubleheader tonight from a sold-out College of Staten Island athletic complex.
And this is one of the first things that Coach Genovese was talking about, is his team running their stuff and getting into things quickly.
Parlanti with a running shot, right elbow won't go. Rebound for the Warriors. Jala pushed the other way, kicks it to the guard, TU. Now back up top, Washington has it. Good perimeter passing here from the Warriors to start. Now back up top, Bustillo sending it right. Newman touching the basketball, and Williams. An errant shot goes wide underneath the hoop. It'll stay Warriors ball. 7:21 to go here in the opening quarter.
A lot of contact on that drive by Washington. I heard his game is to get to the basket, so let's see him continue to do that and go hard to the rim.
Now the inbound will be underneath the basketball hoop.
And also, while we have a second, Dan, shout out behind us is legendary St. Peter's coach, Charlie Driscoll.
I know.
Up here.
The man has an aura to him.
It's unbelievable. He used to coach me when I was a little kid. His son Mike was a year older than me. But phenomenal man, phenomenal coach. Shout out Coach Driscoll for setting the bar and continuing at St. Peter's.
Carter driving in the lane, now kicking it outside. The Warriors will reset. They have a fresh shot clock here, 25 on it. 7:08 to go here in the first quarter, a 0-0 game. Jala kicks it right side, a runner from the lane won't go. And the Eagles step out of bounds on the baseline. That is an errant play there by Salvatore Fragilio.
Good board by him. Just make sure he's getting his footwork down to make sure he's in the right position.
Doug, I'm going to sweat at an unprecedented rate tonight, so be prepared.
It's actually not that bad right now. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it's like saying, I can't believe there's no traffic. Oh, a beautiful drive left side, and the Warriors are on the board.
Great take by Joshua Carter there. Left-handed finish going to the cup.
2-0 Curtis. Now bring it across. This Dennis Corson with it. Kicking it right side. Now back up top left. John Bollock. Now the give to the corner. Pump fake, a three, in and out. A fortuitous bounce for the Warriors, who come up with the rebound and bring it across the timeline.
Great job boxing out down there by Curtis. I didn't see what number that was, but great job boxing out and keeping the possession alive for Curtis.
Washington with it now, kicking it right side. Williams now back over left. A good drive here, left side of the hoop. Foul called, and that is number 11 with the basketball, Jameer Williams. Number 1 with the ball. So you got Jamel Jalla going to the line. Opportunity here for the Warriors to make it a 2-possession game early on.
Shot.
The first one is cash from the free throw line.
Beautiful form on that shot by Jamel. Also, we're going to be interested to see Corson control the tempo of the game tonight, Dan. He's a very good point guard, very steady, very solid. And interesting how he's going to be able to control the tempo with Curtis's pressure.
4-0 is our score. Corson brings it across the timeline, working from left to right now. Moving all the way around the perimeter. Lays it off the glass, up and in, and the Eagles are on the board.
Great take by Corson.
They've adjusted the scoreboard here. It's 3-2 Warriors. 3-2, 5:48 to go here in the opening quarter. Excellent drive, right side of the basket, just won't go. Second chance opportunity on the rebound. Good swarming D here from the Warriors, but a foul is called on the basketball court. Speaking of our referees and our first foul of the game, our refs tonight are Stuart Davis and Errol McPherson. Shout out to the referees. Hope they call a good, clean game.
2 non-Staten Island guys. So
like it.
Should be.
Not biased at all.
Not at all.
That's what we like to see. Now 3-2 is our score. St. Peter's trails here. Corson kicking it up top. Virgilio with it. Working around a high screen. Parlanti drives in the lane. It won't go. There seems to be somewhat of a lid on the basketball for the Eagles here early on. A beautiful drive in the lane. They're going to call it. Is it a charge? A little disagreement here with the officials. One is saying from the far side that it's a foul, count it. Now the other one is saying that it's a charge. And it is in fact a charge, and the Curtis crowd cannot believe it.
It's a tough call. It's one of the toughest calls in basketball, Dan, the block charge. Everyone always has their opinion on it. Very tough call to make as a referee.
Tough call to make if you're anybody,
100%.
let alone a referee.
A referee at a college facility watching a high school game. So, very intense tonight.
Now Dennis Corson is the point guard. Floor Drenel that gets it going here. Good give and go here from the twos. Just can't lay it in. Now back the other way. The Warriors have numbers. Back to Williams, who fires a three, and it won't go. Rebounded is by Virgilio.
Great hustle by Jamel there. Get up off the ground and run back on defense.
Danny Mills drives with the left hand, lays it up and in. The Eagles have their first lead of the night. 4-3. I remember this from last year, Doug. There's 2 different scoreboards in the building, and they like to have different scores. We'll get through it together, and my man, Jamel Jalla, just got the ultimate friendly roll on the right side hoop. Hit every part of the rim and dropped in 5-4 Warriors, and now a steal going the other way. A floater in the lane won't go. Tipped, last touch by the Warriors. The Eagles will have the ball underneath the Warrior hoop coming the other way.
And if you notice, Dan, on that pull-up there, Washington was a little hesitant to go all the way to the basket because St. Peter's is tradition of taking charges all the time. So they already got that first one under their belt. So now Curtis drivers are going to be a little hesitant to go all the way to the rim.
Oh, here is a three from the corner. Cash Money Millionaires. Adem John Pollock is on the board. Warriors looking to respond now. Sending it right side. Stutter step behind the back. Spin move into traffic. Now forced to kick it out. 7 on the shot clock. Back up top. Good perimeter passing. A shot from Jalla. Won't go. And the Eagles have the ball.
They had to force that one up. Shot clock was coming down. not his game. He wants to get to the rim, so tough shot for Jamel on that one.
I'll tell you, it's a good thing we don't have the scoreboard on the screen. It has been more wrong than I have tonight. 8-5 is our score right now. The Eagles with a 3-point lead and looking to build. Corson sending it right side. Top of the key, it's Parlanti. Beautiful drive and an even better block, but a foul's going to be called. And from my vantage point, it looked like all ball, but what do I know?
Yeah, it was a tough drive by Fragioli. Good move. I'm loving right now because Coach Genovese was really concerned before the game about their offensive flow, which he called it. They look good. Peters looks good. They look like they're doing a pretty good job of the flow of the offense. They look like they're doing a pretty good job running their stuff and getting into their sets. Just got to get their baskets in because, as you can tell, they're making good moves. They're making good cuts, and they're coming up a little short. And we spoke about this last year, Dan, with these games. Is sometimes, these kids last year was their first time experiencing this as freshmen in high school because of all the COVID rules and regulations. So now we're back to normal, and now these guys have been thrown back into the fire again of being here opening night. So
congratulations, Doug. You're fired for saying the word you're not supposed to.
The C word?
That's right.
I apologize.
No, you shouldn't. Nobody cares.
I'll put down the headset.
Stick that in your pipe. 7-5's the score. I'm working on trying to maybe do a manual scoreboard. So why don't you take over for a hot second?
You got it.
Not like anybody cares.
Second one's off by Fagioli as well. Corson for three. Short. Ball batted around. Two comes up with it. Dribbling down the floor. Passes it over to... We got sub Madry just checked in the game as well here. Now we got two with the basket.
You got a tie game here, Dougie.
7-7. Mills going to the rack, going to the left. Throws it over to Fragioli. Fragioli with the left hook. Very nice shot by him. There's Corson on the floor. Great job by Corson. Good hustle. Reminds me of a lot of former St. Peter's guards that are small in stature but make up for it with their effort and how hard they play on the court. So shout out to Dennis there on that dive on the floor. Peters is known for this, and this is the difference between the two programs. We want to make sure that we highlight those different guys for different teams that were doing well. Peters back into a 2-1-2 zone here.
Kicking it up top. This is Chiu with it. A three from the left side won't go for Washington. Second chance opportunity here for the Warriors. Now sending it back again, right side. Now back up top. Good passing here. A three from the wing is banged from downtown. And the Warriors are back on top, 10-9.
Man, if he can shoot as well as get into the rim, he's going to be a dangerous player in the few next coming years for Curtis. A lot of game on Washington.
Beautiful move, stutter step, right side, sweep. John Bollock does it again.
It's a great pull-up jump shot. Lost art in our game now is mid-range. It's a great job by John Bollock for figuring that out there. Great move. Great footwork.
11-10 is our score here. 1:15 to go in the first quarter.
Peters, not usually in zone. And Washington's making him pay for it right now.
Washington buries one from downtown. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 13-11. We are under a minute to play here in the opening quarter of the JV game, and the gym, Dougie, is starting to fill up.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a good one.
A lot of contact. Great move is right. Salvatore Virgilio lays it up and in, and we're all knotted up at 13.
Coach Genovese calling out and switching back into a man-to-man, Dan. Zone wasn't working. Mr. Washington here knocks down two triples. So they're getting out of the zone, back into man-to-man to contain him. Great job by Corson again.
Oh, they got numbers going the other way. A 2-on-2. Great defense by TU. Kicks it to Washington. Up ahead now. Madry with it. Up and in.
Great job by Madry with that Euro back to the baseline drive. Fantastic move.
15-13 is our score. 2.9 seconds remaining.
Danny, this is what we're here for, man. This is exciting, dude. 15-13. 15-13, Curtis.
There's some wild stuff happening right now.
Fantastic. What a game. This is why we're here.
Here's a three up top.
At the buzzer.
Downtown at the buzzer. You said it, Dougie. 16-15. And the first half of action tonight, Doug, is brought to you by our friends at Duffy's Tavern, located on Forest Avenue in the heart of West Brighton. I know they're in there tonight. A big shout out to everybody over there at Duffy's Tavern. Listen, best burger on Staten Island, hands down. A lot of people say that English muffin does a lot.
I would say the English muffin does it for me, Dan.
It does a lot for people.
And the worst part is you try to recreate it at home. It's not the same.
Yeah, no. It's absolutely not the same. I'll tell you something else that's not the same is it's not the same old Duffy's, because they're reinventing the kitchen over there, and they're bringing the kitchen to you with catering, Dougie. Can you imagine you could have Duffy's in your house on Sundays?
I don't want you to tell me that, Dan, because now I'm going to do it.
Well, you better do it, and everybody out there better do it, because Duffy's is supporting the first half of tonight's action in both the JV and the varsity game. And we appreciate everybody down there for supporting us here at the fastest growing local sports network in town. Nobody cares. Second quarter of action about to be underway. For everybody at home wondering how we're getting the scoreboard to work, well, it's because I'm doing it manually.
If anyone's wondering how we're getting the scoreboard to work, we're not.
We're not. We don't have a scoreboard. We're supposed to have a camera. A good friend of mine, I want to give a shout out to Scott Sataro, Too Many Topics Media. We were set to get a camera from him, but unfortunately his child got sick. He had to go to the hospital.
Oh, whoa.
And
hope he's okay.
Listen, there's more important things in life than a scoreboard camera.
100%.
I said, Scott will figure it out. Take care of your family.
Yeah,
so I want to give a shout out to him. Prayers up to his family. Hopefully your son comes home soon. In the meantime, we're fixing the scoreboard ourselves, and the Eagles are set to inbound in front of us. Parlanti right in front of the broadcast booth. Don't you knock over anything. He inbounds it cleanly. Bookie's doing a tremendous job on camera tonight. A steal! Warriors out the other way. Al Washington with the spin move. If that went in, I think we would have had a Sports Center Top 10 highlight. Instead, it's going to be 2 shots for the Warriors.
I would have knocked this table over, Dan.
Honestly, at that point, just get insurance, right? I mean, if you're going to Bills Mafia my table after that, I wouldn't blame you.
That was tough.
Wow, that was tough as right.
Before the game, my friend was telling me about him, and I was very excited to see him play today, so I'm really excited for this. Shout out Vinny.
What's this guy's name over my left shoulder?
That's Dennis Driscoll.
Dennis Driscoll, all right, just sweet man, just provided me with sweat towels. You're the man, Danny.
He's been there. He knows. He's been on the sideline many a times.
He
Coach
knows
Dennis.
what's going on here, and nobody cares. I think it's about time we remove the cardigan. So he nails both from the charity stripe, Dougie. It's 17-16, 7:49 to go. 11 seconds gone by here in the second quarter of this JV matchup.
This kid Washington is some player, man. Wow. Phenomenal. My friend before the game, I was talking to my friend Vinny Vici over there on the sideline, and he was telling me about Mr. Washington. I didn't know about him. I do now.
Oh, beautiful stutter step, jump shot, left side, won't go for Corson. Second chance opportunity, count it, and the foul! My man Danny Mills getting busy in the paint tonight, Doug.
Nice size on Danny, and he's a lefty. Love lefties. Looks like a Zach Randolph type player, getting into the paint, putting his shoulder down, going into guys. Like to see that at the JV level.
It's just crazy. It's like 1942, 1952 TB. Changing the score manually. So you just tell them the time, I'll tell them the score.
It's
and if there's a fast break, everybody pause.
It's like Zoolander. It's
the files are in the computer.
Fantastic.
Jesus. Well, Danny Mills
Good shot
sinks
by Danny.
it.
And for a big guy, Danny's got a nice soft touch, so it's nice to see that as well. Run the rim, and also at the foul line. If he's going to get fouled, he's got to make them. Good job by Danny.
19-17 is our score. Warriors looking to answer. Their largest deficit tonight has been 3 points. Washington with it now. Left side. And a beautiful pass, left side of the elbow, won't go. Eagles come up with the board. Now pushing the other way. Mills with it. Kicking it up top. Parlanti getting directions from the sidelines. Now making his move right. Power move in the lane. Counted and the foul.
Personal foul charge 2, Curtis number 2. Curtis 2, his second, team second.
We haven't had any timeouts so far in the game, Dougie.
Game's moving, Dan.
Game's
Game
moving.
is moving.
No team has taken a timeout yet. Shocking. Just over 1 minute gone by here in the second quarter of action.
And because of no timeouts, Dan, some of the starters are getting some blows right now in terms of getting a little rest. So Corson comes out. I believe that is Rico Myers Jr. that just checked in. Is that number? Yep. And then also we have Jimmy Eisenhart also checking in as well, number 10. So some subs for Peters to give some break.
Going the other way, Washington's going to be called for an offensive foul, like a push-off, I guess, with the elbow.
I think it was just out of bounds, Dan.
Out of bounds?
Yeah.
That's
and that's funny because we just mentioned Jimmy Eisenhart there and did a great job of turning Washington and getting them to turn on the baseline there, sideline, excuse me.
Let's see what the Eagles can do. They lead by 5. It is their largest lead of the night. Sending it right side. Mills driving in the lane. Beautiful shot. Goes in, nothing but net. And the Warriors want to talk it over. We call that the announcer curse or the announcer jinx. Like, I can't believe there hasn't been any timeouts tonight.
Well, and this is the first run of the game. So St. Peter's right now, they're using a little bit of offensive pressure here, making Curtis a little uncomfortable right now. So Curtis had to call a little timeout to basically get themselves under control and make sure they're good and doing that. So Curtis timeout. Again, we're talking about Duffy's, Dan.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Duffy's. It is absolutely a fan favorite here in Staten Island. Timeouts tonight for the Curtis Warriors, brought to you by our friends at Duffy's. First one taken tonight, Dougie, and it's surprising, but as you mentioned, super fast moving. So there hasn't been much to talk about. The ebb and flow of this game tonight has been absolutely fantastic, but it came at a warranted time, sir. 24-17, you find yourself down by 7 points.
Yeah.
That's your largest deficit so far this game, and you want to get your boys settled down here as you see the gym is getting to max capacity.
And I think that was a great timeout by Coach McKay. I think that's what he was trying to do there, is get the guys to settle down a little bit. They're getting away from some of their stuff they were doing, and just kind of remind them, hey, listen, we're here. It's a big environment, but we got to just do our stuff here.
Ooh, Jallo with a beautiful crossover. The Warriors are able to get it back, but then an errant pass flies into the third row.
And Dan, also a difference between the two programs. Curtis features a bunch of freshmen on their JV team. St. Peter's is mostly always predominantly sophomores. So we'll also see a little bit of a difference in terms of continuity, but also in terms of maturity on the court. So let's see how Curtis handles themselves, being a little bit of a hole early on here.
Absolutely. Working it right side is Parlanti. The kick up top is Eisenhart, who buries one from downtown.
Jimmy's a knockdown shooter. Another guy on the St. Peter's team with a father that with a playing background. Shout out to his dad.
Coming the other way here, Dougie Washington with a great block and a great second chance opportunity by Parlanti. 29-7 is our score. The Eagles with a 12-point lead.
Eisenhart came in the game, Dan, immediately a lot of energy off that bench.
Oh, and a block. What a block by Parlanti. He decides to bring it across the court himself. Kicking it left side once again. Eisenhart, back-to-back shots from downtown.
It's the Eisenhart show in the second quarter, Dan. Immediately came into the game, super energy defensively, and better yet, giving an offensive spark right now with back-to-back three-pointers.
I mean, at this point, Dougie, we might as well just have catering to Duffy's. Back-to-back timeouts brought to you by our friends at Duffy's, located on Forest Avenue. More than just the greatest burgers you've ever had on an English muffin. You can have this great food brought to you for private parties in your home or out and about on the road, wherever you may be. They'll bring it to you.
Ready, Dan? What else would you get at Duffy's? What else do you get at Duffy's?
You know what? I feel like shots fired. I barely leave the house. What would you get at Duffy's?
I'm a mozzarella stick guy.
Really? They got good mutts? Because I was thinking about
sticks.
going there after the game tonight.
Yeah, mozzarella sticks. I'm always a fan of mozzarella sticks. And, just bar food in general. We don't have many places anymore on the island that has just bar food. You go down there. I don't drink, but I've heard people drink there a little bit. But also
Bookie,
a little bar food action, you know?
Bookie, can you do me a favor and tell the guy to the left of you with the camera to move, because he's in your shot to the left.
Happens every game.
Look at all these other lines of sight. 32-17 is our score, ladies and gentlemen. 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
You know why, Dan? Because the Dolphin is facing this direction.
Yeah, everybody wants to see the Dolphin.
The Dolphin is the other way. It's kind of weird, no?
It is kind of weird.
They should have some kind of design where it's the same both directions.
I completely agree. Sending it up. A three from downtown won't go. The Warriors get it. That's Santos sending it up. Danny Mills comes down with the rebound. And the Eagles will just jog it across half court.
I'm sure Coach Genovese is extremely happy right now with the bench play. Two guys that didn't see much action in the first quarter at all. Second quarter, stepping up and being big-time contributors. And they're getting a big break right now for Corson and a big break for Fragioli, so that if they need to go back to them before the half, they can. But right now, Eisenhardt and Myers Jr. is doing a fantastic job in the game right now as the two guards.
Absolutely. Myers came in off the bench, Ryan, and he's a floor general that's really – his speed, I think, is what's being a huge difference
100%.
here. He's got great handle, and it kind of just frees up everybody else to run their assignments.
And by taking out Fragioli, they're very versatile, where they're able to put Parlanti at a bigger position here and make him guard some bigger guys. So it's a very, very diverse team for Peters this year with versatility.
Second shot won't go. 32-17 going the other way. A lot of contact. And they're finally going to say that this is a block. So it'll stay on this side of the court. CU headed to the line to shoot two. 32-17 is our score. 14-14 to go here in the second quarter.
And Eisenhardt again in the play, Dan, even though he picked up a block there, was stepping in to take a charge to stop two from getting into the rim.
First one from the charity stripe is Cash. Yeah, the second one is also Cash.
Curtis is trying to put up their defensive pressure a little bit. Coaching staff getting on them to move up. Pressured Peters a little bit. Make them uncomfortable.
Oh, it's going to be a turnover.
And as Coach Genovese talked about before the game with me, two things that he wanted to stress to his team to make sure they were doing a good job today of is rebounding and the offensive flow. Offensive flow has been fantastic. Rebounding has been fantastic. So with those two things going well for them, they're up 14 points right now, Dan.
Absolutely, but the Warriors doing everything they can to keep themselves in this ball game as we're under the 4-minute mark here of the first half of action. A deep three from TU is banged from downtown. Nothing but net. 33-22 is our score.
That's a huge one. They needed that one bad, real bad. Down to 11.
Needed it real bad, he said.
Real bad.
Stifling defense from the Warriors here in response.
And they've gone back with Corson, left Eisenhart on the floor, and went back with Frigioli as well.
Good D from the Warriors here, playing with their feet, not their hands. Stutter step, possibly a walk. Instead, it's a drive baseline. The kick up top. Now drive. Right hand goes off the glass. John Bollock again.
John Bollock's a nice little player, Dan. Mixes it up outside, inside. Really good player.
Working right, left side. A
Charge.
lot of contact. You said it, mister. Going the other way. Offensive foul.
Another one. This is going to be all game. All game. And Dan, most people don't know this, but Coach Genovese over there was one of the biggest supporters of charges because when he was at St. Peter's, he took a ton of them, man. He took a ton. So he's definitely working with them at practice on that. And his coaching staff over there, you got Billy DeFazio, you got Coach Mike Driscoll over there as well. Two other guys that prided themselves on the defensive end in high school. So, you know, these guys are getting after it on the defensive end of practice also.
35-22 is our score. 2:44 to go here in the second quarter. Good D here from the Warriors, harassing Corson on the baseline, but he lays it in anyway.
And Curtis has gone away a little bit from Washington here. I want to see him get something before the half, Dan. Get back into this flow again.
Good defense down the other way for the Eagles. I'm gonna file a grievance with whoever's running the scoreboards here at CSI. There's two different scoreboards. They always got a different score. Why have two different scoreboards if they're not synced? I'm over here trying to run my own scoreboard. You think I know what's happening? 14-point lead. That's what I know what's going on. 11 with the ball here for the Warriors. It's Williams. Now kicking it left side. Jala has it. Back to Tiu. In traffic around a high screen. A 20-foot jump shot is cash money. 36-24 is our score.
Two's getting hot before the half here. Score, yep, 36-24.
Thanks, Doug.
Yep.
Beautiful move here from Corson. Stop, pop, just won't go.
Rebound.
Gets his own board.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Genovese is talking about, rebounding, offensively and defensively. Corson didn't give up on the play.
38-24. This is the Warriors' largest lead of the game. Steady as she goes. They've been slowly but surely pouring it on throughout the
Another one.
course of this contest. CU can't bang that one from downtown. The Eagles come up with it.
And another one and done for Curtis. Oof.
Oh, Corson with a beautiful move. And they're going to call a foul.
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
You don't know about that?
That was a tough one.
Okay.
Corson went up underhand. Looked like Jala. Yeah, Jala looked like he got all ball on that, but that's why we're over here, Dan. That's why we're over here.
Oh, and believe me, we're barely over here.
Yep.
So missing the first one at the charity stripe.
Great minutes by Eisenhart coming out of the game just now. Great second quarter for him. Sparked the run there for them.
We want to remind everybody that this first half of action is brought to you by our friends at the Kettle Black, located on Forest Avenue as well.
Another place. Good
no
food.
doubt. Filled to the brim tonight, and they have the games on, and we appreciate all of you over there. 39-24 is our score. It's a 15-point lead for the Eagles. Under 1 minute to go here in the second quarter of play.
Good job defensively. Number 23 just now. Jeremiah Arrington just checked in. There's two again. If it wasn't for two right now, this would be a 20-point and growing lead for St. Peter's. Two has stepped up big time in the second quarter.
Mans is doing it. An 11-point deficit cuts it down to 38-27. 24 seconds to go. Travel going the other way. You said it, mister.
Great job by Jamel coming over and help side defense there and allowing number 23, Jeremiah Arrington, to be able to travel on that by cutting him off. We got 20 seconds, Dan. Here we go.
20 seconds. You said it. Washington dribbles it across the timeline from left to right. 13 on the clock. The shot clock turned off. Two with it, right side. Stutter step, kicks it back right again. Jala. Turnaround to two, who fires a deep three off the glass. No good. We're taking it to the half, Doug.
That's definitely not the shot Coach McKay wanted, but they escaped without it getting really, really bad score-wise. So
They
not bad.
absolutely did, Doug. We got to give a shout-out to our friends at Sacred Heart, the Titan League. Our friend, of course, Tommy Corson and everybody over there. Man, tonight, did you know Sacred Heart has 13 players playing in these two games combined on both teams?
Absolutely. Duh.
That says a lot about the talent over there. And for Sacred Heart, you know, they do a lot over there. They're very proud to have those 13 young men playing tonight.
Got a fun fact for you, Dan.
Fun fact,
the only
go ahead.
only team to own me. Own, as I say, O-W-N, is Sacred Heart. And CYO was a rough time for me because of Sacred Heart.
Well, they start them young there at Sacred Heart, okay? And how young? Well, they're offering now pre-K through second grade basketball clinics Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. You want to learn any, level, send them down, get the kids out of the house, get them moving. We threw it up here on screen for everybody to see. It's the Sacred Heart Memorial Christmas Tournament. You can contact Tommy Corson, Pat Highland, or Bobby Altoff. Boy, I'll tell you, we're so happy with our sponsors. They're supposed to be sponsoring the STP timeouts tonight.
We had one.
St. Peter's didn't take a timeout in the first half, so I felt like we had to shout them out.
Absolutely.
Well, we also had to shout out, as you know, our friend from the Kettle Black Bar, who is a proud supporter tonight, and they're jumping on for both the JV and the varsity game, Doug. And we have the cheerleaders coming out onto the court. We're going to take a small break ourselves. We'll be back in about 9 minutes or so with the second half of action. You happy with that, Doug?
Whatever you need, Dan. I'm here.
I'm going to go,
Stand up.
see if there's a trough around I can take a bath in. We're going to send it over to the Curtis cheerleaders and see what they got. Nobody cares. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half of action about to be underway here. And the second half of action is brought to you by our friends at Flagship Brewery, who have just created the Wolfhound Nitro Beer. And I'm telling you, it is the official beverage of the Nobody Cares Sports Network here tonight on Thanksgiving Eve. What is that beer you're asking yourself, Doug? And I'm going to tell you right now. Our boy Jay Sykes went all the way to Ireland to learn how to make that beer. It tastes just like a Guinness. It's nitro brewed, and it is a beautiful experience, just like tonight's festivities from the College of Staten Island.
I'm going to take your word for it, Dan. I'm not a drinker, so I'm taking your word for it.
I haven't had a beer in a while. If I drank one of those, I'd probably end up in a shopping cart, but I'm excited about it. Back to the action on the court.
Curtis changing up defense a little bit. Looks like a little zone here. Here comes two.
It seems we've had a scoreboard adjustment at the half because it says 40-27 on all scoreboards. So apparently there was a point missing that was figured out at the scorer's table. And that is our score right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Good take by two. Two really did a good job in the second quarter of keeping Curtis in the game. So it looks like he's continuing that aggressiveness to the basket, knocking down the first foul shot.
I see. They're going the other way now.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long night.
It's going to be a long one.
Knocked down 2 for 2.
He got both of them.
2 for 2 for 2.
Our scoreboards are quicker than the ones in-house. 40-29 is our score.
Here comes the pressure by Curtis. Being a little aggressive here to start. Ooh, good fake.
Oh, stutter step. Bump goes from downtown.
Berlanti's a nice player, man. He's going to be a good player for Peters next couple of years. Love his game.
43-29. It's back to the largest lead of the game for the Eagles. Back the other way. It's going to be number 11 for the Warriors. Jameer Williams going to the charity stripe, shooting 2, Doug.
And I'll tell you what, Curtis came out. They're attacking the rim, Dan. They're trying to get to the basket. They're trying to stay in this game.
I want to go to Ireland like Jay Sykes. I'm telling you right now, Doug, it's because that beer, the Wolfhound Nitro, it's a collaboration with Porterhouse Brew Company in Dublin, Ireland, and the official beverage of Thanksgiving Eve here.
That's my heritage, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm Irish.
Well, so. I think we got to get you one of them then. We'll talk to the guys over there at Flagship. So it's a miss on both from the charity stripe, 43-29. Little post, left-hand hook. Oh, my. Was that Hakeem the Dream? I can't tell.
I'll tell you what. I know he's lefty for Gioli, but it's very different when you're playing a post player and they're going to their left and going and shooting with their left hand. So you're not really used to that with bigs. So he's doing a great job of getting his post position and going up with his left hand.
Well, here's a steal in the corner, and the Eagles will have it now coming the other way. Corson with it. Shoving it over inside the paint, stolen momentarily and thrown errantly out of bounds towards the Eagles bench. It's going to stay with the white.
Great job by Washington getting in the passing lane. He's got to step up in the second half, Dan. When they were up and close in this game, Washington was their guy. He's got to get back into doing those things. Curtis staying in that zone. 3-2, extended up a little bit, looking to trap.
And a travel called on Corson as he was trapped, as you mentioned, Dougie. So the tenacious defense by the Warriors pays off that time.
And they're changing things up from the first half. First half, they played strictly man-to-man, and maybe they're thinking that maybe if they play a little zone, they can hang around a little longer and try to get back into the game a little bit.
My goodness. The reverse scoop left to right goes in off the glass.
As Jamel, great take by him, going to his left and going back to his right.
What a move. And a timeout is going to be Doug.
St. Peter's timeout. And the score is wrong. There you go.
45-31.
This guy on the score clock is a little...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. We do have a timeout on the floor, so we are going to kick it over to our official sponsors of the St. Peter's Eagles timeouts. And that's our friend Tommy Corson in the Sacred Heart Titan League from CYO. They've got 13 young men represented out here in this doubleheader from the College of Staten Island between the JV game and the varsity game. So that is an impressive stat. If your son or daughter plays on the North Shore of Staten Island and you're thinking about getting them involved in basketball, well, I'm telling you right now, Sacred Heart is one heck of a program to get the kids involved with.
And Dan, to speak to that, I'm assuming majority of those players are on St. Peter's. And that would tell me that they have some cohesiveness in their program. If they got 13 guys from the same CYO program in over a 3 to 4 year span, that tells me that there are going to be some guys on that team that know how to play with each other there.
No doubt. Shout out to the Commodore tuned in Florida. We know he's locked in. Ray McNusky, I see you tuned in here on the YouTube chat. Like and share. Send this around. This is free. I don't even got the ads turned on YouTube, so you don't watch any commercials. You just watch local sports.
Ooh, good feed. Good look, good look.
Beautiful feed. Could have been last touch by the Eagles, but the ref's going to say it's instead Eagles basketball.
The Curtis guys, you can tell, Dan, their IQ is there. They're a little step behind younger guys. You know, the younger guys playing in this game, the first time playing a high school basketball game of this magnitude. It's a big environment here. This is different. Oh, here comes the trap.
You said it. Sending it in right side
Joey
now.
again.
Beautiful drive of the lane. Good extra pass.
Oh,
and we're going to have a whistle on the floor prior to the shot.
On the floor. Reach in. But Mills got some good hands, Dan. Catches everything. Like a vacuum.
Mitts. See the shoulders on that kid?
No, I've been working out for a long time. I still don't look like that.
I hope his parents own a steakhouse or something where they can feed him that kind of protein.
Don't go there, Dan. I'm starving. Don't go there.
We have so many sponsors, just like our friend, Ruddy and Dean American Steakhouse, Jimmy Max. The list goes on and on. Jay's on the Bay.
Oh, that's another one. Jay's on the Bay is very good, too.
Could eat at all these places. Proud supporters of the network.
Valente, man, he's not having a nice game for himself here. And Dan, this game like this with St. Peter's and Curtis, this is a breakout game for a lot of these JV guys that they're going to become varsity players at some point, and we'll know the name from today. So
absolutely. Oh my. Bookie, can you get a shot of the Curtis Warriors cheerleaders on the left baseline? They are rolling deep.
Yeah.
There's so many cheerleaders, it's unbelievable. You don't got to zoom in that far. You could zoom back out. You're going to give Grandma in Florida a seizure. All right, back to the action. Washington brings it across the timeline. Sending it right. Excellent pass into the paint and an errant shot, but a foul. No, they're going to say it went over the top of the backboard.
Yep.
Turnover. Eagles ball.
I do like that Curtis is not settling, Dan. They're going to the basket. They're trying to get fouls, trying to get Peters in foul trouble. Maybe you have to go to the bench a little bit, but a little out of control on that drive by two. Pressure's coming up now for Curtis as well. Little tip.
Oh, Mills goes up strong, and he is fouled hard by Jamel Jalla. And to be fair, good foul by Jalla because kid the size like Danny Mills, we talked about all the protein he eats. You better foul him hard, and he did. He'll be shooting 2, and he's got to earn it from the charity stripe.
Dan, one of the differences between Curtis and Peters right now, Peters, those guys from Curtis that come into the lane, they're stepping in, taking charges on those, and they're getting knocked over. Curtis guys are jumping to try to block shots, so big difference between the style of play that these two teams play at. So it's working for Peters right now, so I think that Coach McKay is going to be at practice going over things like this to improve from during the year. You know, this is a great game, but it's a non-league game. It doesn't really mean much in terms of standings and stuff like that. They're going to have a tough time in the PSAL this year, moving into Brooklyn, playing in some really good teams. The new alignment for the PSAL is a little crazy this year. We'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But, this is a good test for Curtis and to see where they're at.
Absolutely it is. Sending it out to the baseline, back up top. It's Jalla with it. A steal opportunity from Corson, but Washington holds on. Sends it right side. Carter with it. Now back to 2. Stutter step, good jump shot. Left side won't go. Hits every part of the rim and bounces out. Corson has it now, brings it across the timeline from left to right. The Eagles with a 17-point lead, 48-31, 3:38 remaining here in the third quarter.
Here comes Eisenhart back in the game too, Dan. He had a lot of energy in that second quarter. Let's see if he can provide the same spark in the third quarter here. Good fight.
Oh, this could be a jump ball.
Yep.
Good defense here from the Warriors.
Great job by Curtis. Closing in on Mills driving to the lane. You got a few lefties on the court for Peters, so it's a little unorthodox to have a couple lefties in the game. So Curtis is doing a good job, but they're forcing them left.
Shout out to Ned Flanders, who owned the ever-famous, ever-popular Lefty Emporium at the Springfield Mall. Only left-handed products in there.
That's it.
That's it. Back up top, it's Corson with it. Stutter step from the baseline, won't go. Tilbray gets the rebound, pushes it up to Washington quickly.
Another charge. Nope. Block.
And we got a blocking foul called in the paint.
But see the difference, Dan? The Peters guys, they're standing there, they're waiting to get hit. They want that contact.
Yeah.
Curtis guys, they're trying to block all the shots. So they have to really do a better job of getting in position before, instead of trying to block the shot, take the charge. And again, unfortunately, sometimes they're going to call a block, but as an offensive player, you kind of shy away from maybe going all the way to the basket next time, knowing that there's a guy standing there not afraid to get hit and take a charge. So
you give amazing insight.
And Dan, I'm going to tell you one thing. You know why I know that?
How do you know?
Because I never took them. I ran away.
You're the guy who dove into the bushes. I got it.
That was not a charge taker.
Well, when you're the all-time leading scorer in Farrell's history, you can take your privileges on defense.
I could also jump really high, so I didn't have to worry about standing in the way.
I could jump high, he says.
So I kind of let guys go around me and try to block their shot after. So I did a little differently back in the day. Now I would never play because I don't take charges. So.
Excuse me, everyone. I clicked the wrong button.
Yep, 48-36. Good hustle by Jamel. Push.
I don't think people appreciate how much stuff goes on behind the scenes of a Nobody Cares Sports Network broadcast.
Not for me. I just come here and I just
you,
talk.
Ray, all the broadcasters. Bookie does an amazing job on camera.
He's killing it right now.
Honestly, he's not a cameraman.
He's killing it. He's killing it right now.
Might not even be a bookie.
He might not even be up there anymore. Is he up there?
No, I don't know. He might have figured out some sort of contraption like Data from Goonies, and he's got.
He's there.
He's there.
I got a hand up. He's there.
My man.
He is there.
Hey, kid, watch this camera for a second. That's Zoom. I'll be right back. First shot at the charity stripe is Cash. And the second one gets the friendly roll as well. It's 34 points on the board for the Warriors. They're back to down by 14. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
I love how they're hanging around here. They're not giving up. They're playing extremely hard still. Coach McKay is probably loving the effort they're giving right now. Back to his left hand.
Beautiful move with the left for Pritchell. He goes in.
Back to that left arm again, Dan. That's a beautiful move. Going middle first to his right hand, coming back to the baseline with his left. Good move.
Oh, wow. What a move to answer down the other end.
Two's a nice little player as well, Dan. We got some nice players coming up in the next couple of years for these two programs.
Well, no matter what the score is, these kids are showing out tonight. Rivalry night here. Thanksgiving Eve. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard is. If you're a student at either Curtis or St. Peter's, this is the night of the year.
Yeah. And also, too, let's shout out, this is obviously the game that we're broadcasting, but there's a ton of games going on tonight around the island. You got Farrell C. They're tipping off in a few minutes over there. You got Port Richmond and McKee. You got CSI McCowan and Newdorp. You got Wagner, and I believe they're playing Grady tonight. So Tottenville is playing Tottenville is playing
Staten Island Academy?
No, Staten Island Academy is playing Moore.
Okay.
And Tottenville is playing Petrides.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. So everyone's playing tonight. We're just showcasing this game because it's the game that's been around the longest. You know,
Well, let me
it's
tell you why.
tradition, and it's fantastic.
We're showcasing this game because St. Peter's High School and Curtis High Schools are two schools that have had Nobody Cares back since the beginning.
Yep.
And, we do have a sense of loyalty here in the community.
Of course.
And to be fair, we're not swayed. We have no agenda. We just positive vibes and all that. So that's what this event is. And people will say, well, Curtis hasn't won in such a long time. Why don't you go somewhere else? And I say, why don't you tune into something else? 51-36 is our score.
That's what they need right now. Washington has to take over if they want to get back into this game. He's extremely talented. He gets to the rim. He's got a nice jump shot. He should be flying down the court. The game is 51-38. It's not 36. So
I know. It's tough to do this. Like our scoreboard here on TV is better than the one for people in-house. There's a lot of contact with that shoulder. Big man threw him into the ground.
That's Frigioli's first miss, I believe, too. He's been pretty good down under the basket going to his left. Get that ball back to Washington.
Williams shouts it over to Santos. To two in the lane. The floater is blocked. Second chance opportunity.
Get it out of there.
Two with it. Decides to take your advice, get it out of there, and he's fouled in the process.
A lot of times, Daniel, guys will try to go back up with that and really try to, throw shots at the basket just to throw a shot out there. Sometimes it's better to take it out and kind of relax.
Can I see that Gatorade?
Is it yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is it yours? No, I take Russian roulette risk with random half-drank Gatorades.
Listen, go for it. Yeah.
Wish I had some Main Street coffee here right now. Shout out to both of these squads, though. These two teams do not like each other.
No.
You talk about a rivalry like, it's not the same as when we were kids. Nope, it's the same. These two schools do not like each other. The kids don't like each other.
Nope.
They all know each other.
Yeah.
They've played in leagues growing up together, but the bottom line is when you draw that line in the sand and you decide, I'm going to school in St. George at Curtis or I'm going to school in New Brighton, 2 miles away at St. Peter's, you're deciding then and there where you stand in the tradition of North Shore basketball here on Staten Island.
And we discussed this at length last year, Dan, I think prior to the varsity game last year, where we said, these kids on Peters, they were born to play in this game. They've been looking forward to this game since their parents or grandparents were taking them to this game when they were kids. So it's a very big difference between the two of them. Curtis kids, I feel bad for them. They just get thrown into this. And the Peters kids, they've been growing up, looking forward to this moment their entire lives.
That's part of the reason why we did the JV game this year. I said, turn the cameras on, let's do it.
Yep.
Beautiful drive in the paint. Goes that time from the right side for John Bollick.
He's a nice little player, too. Him and Polanti are very similar in stature and play. Oof.
Woo! That's a deep two, is it not, from Washington?
He's a heck of a player, man. He's got to turn up right here.
53-41's our score. 37 seconds to go here in the third quarter. The kick out in the corner. John Bollick with it. Now back up top to Frigilio.
Good move. Oh, right hand.
Good move. My man went right this time. It ain't right what he's doing to him in the paint, dog.
I gotta hate text, Dan. I'm so sorry. I gotta talk about this for a second. Shout out to Tommy Downing, who was born and raised to play in this game as a Curtis alum. I apologize, Tommy. Please don't kill me.
Oh, don't start your car tonight. Get somebody else to start it. The three in the corner doesn't go. 4 seconds on the game clock in the third quarter. Gotta fire it up, and does at the buzzer.
Ooh.
And just doesn't go. But I'll tell you, Myers had a good opportunity with it.
And Tommy Downing's also the guy at Sacred Heart that owned me throughout CYO. So shout out to Tommy Downing, another Sacred Heart guy.
Welcome to the broadcast booth, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Chanod, Doug Elwell. There's a camera on you, Doug. Say hello to all the beautiful people at home.
Hello, beautiful people.
Our broadcast booth tonight is powered by our friends at Main Street Coffee. It is the fourth quarter, Doug, so I need you to start thinking about who's going to be your player of the game, because tonight's player of the game is going to be brought to us by, we got a new sponsor on deck tonight just for that.
Oh, yeah, we do.
MagicalVacationPlanner.com. Marianne, I don't want to butcher her last name. Shiriano.
That's it.
We want to give her a big shout out. She is sponsoring tonight's MVP of the game.
And quite frankly, funny that it's MVP, Magical Vacation Planner.
Unbelievable.
Almost like you thought of it, Dan. Fantastic.
Almost like I'm good at my job and I thought
shout
of
out
that.
to Marianne, because
Yep.
if you are planning a trip to Florida or California and you feel like you want to take a trip out to go to Disney or one of the amusement parks out there, she's the woman to go to. She knows the tricks of the land. She knows exactly how to book you, where to go, where to stay, how to book you. Make sure you're not getting ripped off by the man. You know, Marianne does a great job with that. So
don't get ripped off by the man, he says.
Shout her out.
Especially when you're going down there to Florida and it's hot.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't think.
Listen, I have kids now, Dan. If I'm going down to Florida and I'm going to one of those amusement parks, I'm not waiting on lines. No way.
No shot.
way. No way.
First off, I think it's pretty clear I have a disability, so I walk to the right of the line, right, and I go right over there. Dude, I should have been in the hospital. I had the worst tooth infection of my life. Doug knows this.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up this morning. A miracle took place.
I'm shocked you're here today, Dan.
Unbelievable, dude. I don't know.
Game
Candles
has to
work.
go on. The game goes on. Great play for.
Show must go on.
Great play by Coach McKay out of the timeout there, out of the break.
Oh, what a
Eisenhart.
feed going the other way.
Eisenhart, man, he's playing a heck of a game off the bench today for St. Peter's. Doing a great job defensively, offensively, doing a little bit of everything. Here's Washington again.
Oh, Washington from downtown. That doesn't go. He's doing such a great job on camera, I could actually watch the game on my monitor.
Instead of watching it live.
That's nice, because I can do my business here. Take over here, Dougie.
Parlanti with a two-pointer up top, no good. Great battle by Washington, come down to court now. Full head of steam. Got Jamel on his left-hand side. Great take, and one.
Count it. That'll get the people going.
I told you, Washington needs to step up here. He did a great job in the first half, had a lot of energy going to the rim. He's starting to turn it up now in the second half. Fourth quarter here, maybe a little too late, but I love the way that he's playing.
I got no problem with turning it up in the fourth quarter. That's when legends are made.
Absolutely. We just have, for him, he's got to hope that Peters does not turn it up. They want to turn it down.
Yes.
Turn down for what?
You're fired. That's
Washington,
it.
good job.
You don't get 3 strikes. You get 2. I'm sick of you.
Great conversion on the N1 from Washington on that one. St. Peter's timeout.
St. Peter's timeout. We got sponsors for that, don't we?
I'm pretty sure we do.
That's right, sir. Who is it? Why don't you tell me?
That's going to be Sacred Heart,
Oh, I see.
unfortunately, for me.
St.
St. Clair guy. I'm a St. Clair guy, but it's okay. We'll talk about it. So
Talk about them. It's
Sacred
better
Heart,
for you.
Sacred Heart tonight has 13 young men playing tonight that went through their program at some point in time between the varsity and JV teams tonight. They start them young at Sacred Heart. They are now offering pre-K through second grade. And I know how tough that is, Dan. I'm coaching right now kindergarten intramurals, so I know it's tough. But they're doing clinics for little kids Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Sacred Heart. Contact them. Follow them on Instagram. Go look them up. Tommy Corson, one of the best guys in the business running this program. Go check him out, especially in the North Shore.
You're doing a great job, Dougie.
You taught me well, Dan. You taught me well.
Thanks, man. 57-44. The Warriors just will not go away in the first of this doubleheader here on Thanksgiving Eve. It's been sold out since the jump. I'm talking 66 years straight. You cannot get in this building without a ticket. Until now, we bring the building to you. What a pass back door. Doesn't go. Last touch by the Warriors. It's going to stay white and blue basketball.
It looks like Curtis has gone back to man-to-man, getting out of the zone. The zone kept him in the game for a little while. Looks like they're going to try to put the pressure a little bit and go back to man-to-man.
It's Jambolic with it now. Yeah. Good pass inside.
Sheesh.
Big man, left hand. I mean, if you were going to put a clinic
tough,
on
man.
about how to play in the post with your left hand, I think I would just run tape on his kid.
He's tough, man. Virgilio, he's got a lot of buckets in the paint. Doing a great job getting back to his left hand.
Maitre with a good bucket the other end.
Oh. Good floater. Good rebound.
It's a 13-point game. Maitre moving down the paint. Blocked in the paint. It's going to say Warrior basketball. A little bit of smack talk there from Parlanti. I'm surprised.
Little stare down.
You know, it was a stare down, and I felt it from 45 feet away.
I got nervous.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was happening. There's a dog loose. 57-46. There's two different scoreboards, two different scores. Got it. The correct score is on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. 59-46.
Yep.
I'm bad at math, right?
13.
I sweat in general. So this is just like acting this out live on the internet.
I know, yeah. Oh, boy.
Corson gets the loose ball, passing it left side. Parlanti! It's going the other way. That's a charge.
And that's the first one of the day for Curtis, where I said before, Dan, they need to start doing these things to be able to get back into the game. And this is what they need to do. They need to play a little bit more smart. They need to pay attention to those things. Is Bookie still up there?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Bookie, stop moving the camera so much. Focus on the basketball, dude. Oh, thank you, sir.
Ooh.
Oh, step back three. It goes! And boy, do the Warriors need that. They have cut the lead to 10 for the first time in a long time.
Here we go. 59-49. Things that were happening throughout the game are now happening at the same time. You got two playing extremely well. You got Washington coming back from the first half and playing extremely well. So those guys playing together at the same time, well, Curtis is back in the game.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to our friends once again at Duffy's. We want to say not only do they do catering, but they have, you can have parties in a private room that's heated. You want to talk about that, Dougie?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great outdoor area, great inside area as well. Nice homey location on Forest Avenue. Small, but when you're there, you feel like you're at home, Dan.
It's intimate. You want to go where everybody knows your name, and that's the place to do it, ladies and gentlemen. From catering to private parties, best burger on the island, you name it. Shout out to Cormac and the gang over there at Duffy's. Good times, good people.
And that's a great timeout by Coach McKay to get the guys to understand what they're trying to do, anything that's going on.
Left side, Bookie, left side. Dude, just follow the ball. You got this. It's during those timeouts he takes out his phone and reads Chinese news. It's when you really got to pay attention to him. You hear me up there?
So interesting lineup that Peters has gone with right now. They have Eisenhart, Mills, John Bollock, Fragioli, and Corson. So Eisenhart's getting some big minutes here at the end of the game from his play throughout the first three quarters. So shout out to him for playing as well as he is to get back on the court in the fourth quarter here.
Sending it up top now. It's the Eagles. Stop, pop, right side. A lot of contact. Basket won't go, but we'll have shots from the charity stripe coming up. Bookie, zoom out just a little bit.
And that's
a little bit more perfect right there.
And Dan,
perfect.
That's what Coach Genovese was talking about prior to the game, about them running their offensive stuff. So right there, you saw Peters run a little dribble handoff, a little ball screen action to get a good shot. And John Bollock there was able to get fouled on the shot, and let's see what he does. This is the first.
Big miss here, 5:44 to go. What I like about this angle, Bookie, that you have on camera right now is we could see the shot clock and the game clock on top of both basketball hoops if we stay zoomed out like this.
Perfect.
So don't play with the zoom anymore if humanly possible as we come down the stretch in the fourth quarter. You're doing a fantastic job. Make sure and follow this man on Instagram, the Chinese Bookie, not a professional cameraman.
A professional bookie.
No, he's not that either. Second one is up and cash for the Eagles. 60-49 is our score.
This kid's going to be special, Dan.
Doug, did they just cut it to 9?
I don't know. The scoreboard hasn't changed yet.
60-51 is our score.
Great job.
And there's a turnover. The Warriors pushing the other way. Santos with it. Now the Eagles with the steal. Danny Mills does it. He's got mittens. He throws one up off the glass with the left hand. He's fouled, going to line to shoot two.
I'll tell you what, two is doing a good job, Dan. He is stepping in and trying to take charges right now. Doing a great job of trying to get in there and keep his body in there and try to take a charge. Let's see when Coach Genovese goes back with Parlante. He's on the bench right now. Let's see if they go back to him soon.
I got yelled at because they said Dan isn't Sacred Heart the Spartan League and Titan League is Blessed Sacrament. And I'm like,
correct.
First of all,
Yep.
I once had OLGC as a sponsor. They're the
Crusaders?
Knights.
Yeah, Knights.
And I called them the Cougars for no reason.
Yeah, just began with a C, though.
And they were
that was a K.
sponsors.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they were like, are you dumb? And I was like, yeah, I am dumb. So
Speaking of the devil, I am.
Sacred Heart is not upset at me right now, Ray. I tell you right now to all the people out there.
No, they want to highlight their guys tonight, which they're doing a great job tonight from Sacred Heart on the court. That's what they're more worried about. Let's see if Washington comes over here. Jimmy Eisenhart doing a great job defensively. Had a tough matchup.
Dude.
Big shot. Big shot by Carter.
All right. Sorry, we had somebody standing directly in line of the camera. It has been fixed. The three from the corner is cash.
Adem Jambalik there with a big shot in the corner. Every time that Curtis tries to take into the lead, Peters answers right back with a big shot. And right now, Washington is getting a little upset with his teammates. He's here for the big moments, and his teammates right now are a little hesitant, Dan.
Well, it's getting scary hours right now, as Coach Elliott Wilson would say.
Absolutely.
Danny Mills brings it across the timeline from left to right, driving in the lane somewhat erratically, loses the ball. Washington scrambles for it. The Eagles come up with it. Corson will reset now. Fresh set on the clock.
And Peters will take their time, run their offense, get the shot that they want, not that Curtis wants.
Oh, stutter step, driving right side. Good pass into the paint. Big man, Aaron throw, and Washington comes up with it on a wild shot attempt.
This has got to be between two and Washington right now about getting that ball into that basket.
Two with it, setting it right side. Carter now left, back up top. Washington decides to slow it down.
Good shot.
Excellent crossover. Good shot. Doesn't go. It's still a 12-point lead for the Eagles. Corson comes back to take it from the big man, and a timeout called by St. Peter's on the court. 3:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. Back with more high school basketball. Nobody cares. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 65-53, that's our score here. As we are getting down to the nitty-gritty here at the College of Staten Island. The Curtis Warriors have been able to stay in this game for the duration of the contest, never going away, continuing to battle throughout. Now we come down to less than 4 minutes to go in the ball game. A serious push and a series of threes can drastically change the tide here for the Warriors. This is the JV contest. The first time that we've ever broadcasted this contest. Typically, in the 4 years past we've broadcasted, it's only been the varsity games. So this is bonus coverage, and I think going forward, we're going to make it a permanent doubleheader going forward in the future. What do you think, Dougie? Keep it a doubleheader?
Oh, yeah, this is exciting, man. This is exciting. And also, too, now you get to see what's going to happen next year. You know what I mean? Some of these guys are sophomores, some of these guys are freshmen, so these names will continue. And, you know, we'll have the Staten Island High School League playoffs as well. So you'll see these guys, and you grow up with them now, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's get down to it. 3:15 remaining here. Fourth quarter of action. Eagles with a 12-point lead. Corson kicks it up top. Jumbalik with it. Passes it to Mills. Throws it up. And that shot won't go.
Personal foul charge, shoe warrior number 5, Thomas Madre. His first, team's fourth.
I'll tell you, folks, we should sell VIP tickets so you could, take daughter to work day so you could sit here and see what it is that we do and see that there's a lot of other networks that you could be tuning into, but there's only one supporting local. Danny Mills drills the first one from the charity stripe. And he hits the second. 67-53 is our score. 3 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Two gives it to Washington. The floater in the lane won't go. Tipped up, good offensive rebound by Jella, and they'll reset. The Warriors remain down by 14, 2:40 remaining here in the fourth. The deep three from Carter won't go. The Eagles rebounded on the long arms of Adem Jumbalik. Corson has it now. Kicking it left side, the three from the corner, a dagger if it goes, it doesn't. The Warriors still have life.
Washington full head of steam. Oh, got hit.
Got hit with no foul. Kid like that doesn't shoot air balls in the lane.
He's got to get back on defense, though. Got to keep playing.
I agree with you. This isn't the NBA. Oh, left side, 2 minutes to go. Head coach on the St. Peter's sideline says, boys, you don't need to play with so much ferocity. I want you to turn it down a little bit. Eat up this clock. The Warriors picked up on it, and they committed a foul.
Foul charge, shoe warrior number 4, Makaye Washington. His second, team's fifth. The Eagles are now in the penalty.
So, you want to tell him to get on?
I'll get him. We'll come sit right here. What are you asking?
What?
You have stuff to ask him? You have stuff to ask him, or want me to ask him?
You'll ask him. I'll just introduce him.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad. I was going to tell that about my dad.
I said to pass me this Phillips head. What's the matter with you? 67-54 our score.
And St. Peter's, the entire game, Dan, has done a great job of keeping Curtis off the glass. It's been one and done the entire game. That was one of Coach Geneviese's keys before the game that he was talking about.
Oh, the beautiful pass, and he just can't finish.
Kid like Jumbalik has been making great plays all night. Easiest one he gets all night. Doesn't make that chippy, but
It's like
he's had a great game
you
tonight.
expect the footsteps to be there,
Yeah.
and when they're not, it's like, I can't believe I
It's
sold
almost
that.
like too easy of a shot, right?
Right.
It's too close.
Oh, beautiful second chance opportunity goes for the Warriors.
Great
They
job.
remain down by 12, 1:16 to go here in the fourth quarter, and a timeout called on the floor by the Warriors. Dougie, we got to give a big shout out to our friends. It's been a while since we mentioned them, and we mentioned they're over there watching the game as well on Forest Avenue. So how can we forget our friends at the Kettle Black? Wings, burgers, and beer. Voted best wings on Staten Island. Shout out to Dave Shea and the gang over there. We appreciate you. It's no doubt going to be a raucous night, and you got the game on, and that is just awesome for local sports.
It's perfect transition, Dan, as ruckus night here as well. The crowd is filling. Not a seat left in here, as per usual. Just an insane environment here. It's just so nice.
I mean, shout out to it's Celebrity Row here, man.
Dan, I've seen, the who's who of Staten Island basketball here. Coach Petosa's sitting behind us, legendary CSI coach. I've seen Kelsey Carey up there. College of Staten Island assistant coach, who is one of the better Staten Island girls basketball players we've had in the history of our area. Just amazing people, amazing athletes all come together for this event every single year. I was always upset and mad when people didn't come to the Farrell game on Thanksgiving Eve, but I didn't understand why. Now I do.
You kind of understand,
Kind
right?
of get it now. Kind of get
Like
it.
if you're a 16-year-old kid, this is the greatest night ever. Whatever after party you're going to, whatever house, this with that, Thanksgiving Eve is lit.
I can't wait to go to bed, Dan. That's
Bro,
what-
I'm exhausted. What? I'm going to go home and play some Call of Duty. I don't know.
When I left my house, my daughter was on hour 2 of her nap as well. So that means that when I get home, she'll be raring up and ready to go.
Just going to kick you in the chest when you walk in.
Absolutely.
Gorson with it.
Great backdoor.
What a feed! Called for a walk.
But that's exactly what Coach was talking about. The offensive flow, running their sets properly. That was a design play by Coach Genovese there to get that backdoor cut by Mills there. And they're back in his zone.
This is your guy? Here's a three from the right corner. Won't go for the Warriors.
Some wholesale subs for Curtis as well, getting some guys in the
Well,
game.
Brady got in the game, and he was like, yo, I'm hitting a dagger from the corner. Who can blame him? He just missed it.
Tough move by Parlante. And Peters is going to match those subs, get some guys in the game.
Personal foul, charge 2. Warriors number 20, Elijah
If you're tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, at 8 o'clock tonight, it is the main event, the 66th annual varsity contest between the St. Peter's Eagles and the Curtis Warriors. The Eagles are home this year at this auxiliary site at the College of Staten Island. This game has been played at many locations over the years. For a while, it was also held at Wagner College. So, as you know, no high school gym can hold this capacity crowd. It has to be at a college-level environment.
And we'll give it, especially those two schools, two of the smaller gyms on Staten Island in terms of capacity of attendance. So, you know what kind of crowd this is going to bring. You need that big environment. Shout out, St. Peter's made some wholesale subs as well as Curtis. Shout out to these guys that get into the game for the first time tonight.
Oh, just a little bit too strong over the outstretched fingers of
And shout out,
Saar.
we have Brady in the game. We have Olajuwon in the game. We have
Great
Saar in the game. We have Duran in the game for Curtis. And then for Peters, we got Napoli. We got Eisenhart back in the game. We got Blumenberg. We
Great
got,
name.
Yep. We got Rosario, it looks like. And Myers Jr. again back in the game as well.
It's a great job by you, Dougie, calling out these kids that are in the game, because no matter when you're in the game or when you play, you're in the game. The announcers called it,
You're in it.
and it's on YouTube forever.
That's it. You know how many games I wish that I had on YouTube right now?
All of them?
I'd be famous.
Let's take it easy, pal. 4 seconds to go here. And it's going to be Eagles basketball. Looks like they're just going to dribble it out here. 69-55 looks to be our final score. And it is Doug. Dougie's going to get our player of the game. And we'll be back with our player of the game in just a moment. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's player of the game is going to be brought to you by our friend at Magical Vacation Planner, MVP. The MVP of tonight's game is brought to you by MagicalVacationPlanner.com. Marianne Charino, we appreciate you coming on here tonight and being a proud supporter of the Nobody Cares Sports Network and the Thanksgiving Eve game. Doug is out there on the court now, getting our player of the game, and we'll be back in just a moment. 30 seconds till you find out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the time that we have all been waiting for. We are welcoming you to the Nobody Cares Sports broadcast booth. Joining us, the MVP of tonight's game, brought to you by our friends at MVP Vacationing. Nick Parlanti, put your mouth next to that microphone. Make love to it, brother. You're our MVP. How does it feel?
It feels great.
Well, so a couple of things that we want to ask you. One, how did you prepare for the game tonight, knowing this environment, the craziness that was going to be here tonight? How did you guys prepare this week, and you specifically?
All weekend we've been talking about staying composed and sticking to the fundamentals, and that's what we did today. Took home the win.
Fantastic. And one of the things that Coach Genovese talked to us before the game about was rebounding, offensive flow. How did you guys feel like you guys did today with those two things?
I feel like we started off a little iffy on the boxing out rebounding, but halftime he told us, and I feel like we came out second half and we did what we got to do to get out of the game.
Fantastic.
I just got to say before you go, we noticed a moment where you had a block over here in the corner. I think it was on Washington. There was a little bit of a stare down moment where me and Doug were like, hold on, doctor. He's getting a little live. I mean, do you always play with that kind of tenacity every night? Is that how you bring it to the court?
I mean, sometimes you got that feeling, you just got to let it out.
Fantastic.
Nick, you got
Love
that dog in you, and you are our MVP tonight. Brought to you by Magical Vacation Planner. We appreciate you, brother.
Nico, thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good luck rest of the season, buddy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the final score here tonight, 69-55. Doug Elwell was on the call with me, and I am Danny Chanod. And boy, I got enough energy in me for one more. How about you, Dougie?
I think I'll go one more.
I think we could go one more. Joining us and making his broadcast debut in the 8 o'clock time slot, prime time, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Bentivegna.
Prime time. That's right, baby.
That's right. We're going to be back.
Yes.
We're going to be back with the varsity game. We're taking a short break right now. There's going to be 2 different feeds. It should be at 8 o'clock, but there's been so much happening tonight, not to schedule. Who knows? All I can tell you is like, subscribe, hit that bell. No religion, no politics, nobody cares. Thanksgiving Eve, let's go. Main Street Coffee.